yo. Cat Attack Podcast with myself, Daps. Guys, keep liking, subscribing, sharing, of course, all of the usual. Just click the like button and we're going to keep it moving. So, guys, let me know what you think in regards to this idea. So, I'm thinking of doing an MLS. Like, I'm going to start digging into MLS. I'm going to pick an MLS team, probably going to be New York Red Bulls because, you know, we know how I feel about New York Red Bulls. And I'm just going to follow them, but I'm also going to follow the league and I'm going to start getting MLS players on. Like, let me know what you guys think, if you think that's a good idea. If there are any MLS players or MLS fans out there who are into the MLS, let me know what players you think I should get. Let me know what you think of the idea. But we're going to get into that as well. But yeah, I might start it as soon as next week as well. So remember, I will be streaming, doing a live watch along of the Arsenal-Manchester City game. I just need to figure out how I'm going to do it. But that's something that's going to happen. But yeah, guys, listen, I've just finished watching the the Man United and Sevilla game. So obviously Sevilla have gone away to Manchester United have gone away to Sevilla and have lost the game 3-0. Now, considering, even though they drew the first leg 2-2, anyone that looked at that first leg knew that Sevilla were out of that game and they were lucky to get those 2 own goals. Do you know what I'm saying? But this was anything other than what we saw last week. I think from the get-go, United were just sloppy and just not at it. And we see that from the seventh minute. And what's interesting, if you haven't seen the goal, guys, make sure you go and look at this goal. And we're going to break this down properly, yeah? Because a lot of people are blaming De Gea. By the way, De Gea had an absolute mare today. Absolute mare. And regardless of whose fault the first goal is, because of the second and third goals, like, it's just going to... He just gets it. He just gets it. Like, in regards to it's his fault. So he kind of let Maguire off the hook a little because he's going to get all of the bad press and all the negativity. But if we're looking at that first goal, guys, let me know what you think, because that first goal that's gone in, it's got to be Maguire's fault all day long, because you have to bear in mind that pass into Maguire all season. Yes, it's been Varane, or yes, it's been Martinez. All season they've been doing that. That's the pattern of play they play. Yes, David De Gea should know his players, but if you've played any little bit of football, you know that if a player's calling for it and that's how you've been told to play, that's what has been ingrained in you guys, you play that pass. And if it was a hospital pass, I would understand. If there was anything other than Maguire having to just bounce that back or just be aware, check his shoulders a bit, I would understand. But De Gea's only crime with that first goal is that it was Maguire in front of him. That was it. Because from when you do this and you show for the ball, and to be honest, that pass into him, like I said, any other player that's got anything about them, they get out of that. Just bounce it back, if anything. Do you get what I'm saying? But no. He now goes and tries to flick it around to Wan-Bissaka, and then they go in and get it. And online, I've said that his only crime was that it was Maguire in front of him. But I genuinely don't think that's De Gea's fault. Yes, we could say, you could have passed it out wide, you could have just got rid of it. 100% we can say those things. But what he's done isn't a bad pass, especially when you're a professional footballer playing for Manchester United. And if you call for the ball there, yes, he should know his players. If you call for the ball there, I'm going to give you that ball. Do you get what I'm saying? And so let me know what you think. That was just that one, quick one, just to see whose fault you guys thought that goal was. And second goal was, I don't know. I feel like he could have done better, but he could get away with that second one. Do you get what I'm saying? But you see that third one, it was laughable at that point. And it basically summed up the entirety of the Manchester United performance, which was complete and utter shambles. Because I don't know what he thought he was doing. Come out, if anything, put your foot through it, header it. If you're going to control it, control it. But he's literally done nothing. and then obviously the players just come and just put it in the goal, made it 3-0. But from front to back today, yeah, it just goes to show that there's a lot more work that needs to be done with Manchester United. And obviously, as an Arsenal fan, I could use this as a chance to get onto United and do my agendas, but I'm not even going to do that. I'm actually just going to be objective and say that, do you know what? It serves, not that it serves them right, but I think the gas that has been behind United at times this season has been a bit much, considering how well off it they are in regards to the title race. Considering that, you know, there's been games where they've literally just got out of it by the skin of the teeth, and because of Marcus Rashford's crazy form. There were times where in the build-up to that 7-0 humbling from Liverpool, you could see it coming. So I don't think this season they've been playing well, but for whatever reason, the general consensus is that Ten Hag was doing an amazing job and he had properly transformed the team. And I feel like Ten Hag knew himself that, or knows himself that there's a lot of work to be done. Today, it showed that if they don't have their starting lineup out there, and the same could be said for like an Arsenal maybe. If you don't have your strongest team out there or certain players out there, it's a complete and utter shambles. But what I did not expect to see was how bad it was. No passes were connecting. There was no patterns of any sort. Players didn't look up for it. It was just a bad day. And I'm gonna highlight Anthony Martial. And the reason why I'm gonna highlight it is because I don't doubt that he's got an injury. I don't doubt that. I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago that at some point you have to know what you're doing with Martial, because they cannot go into another season with Anthony Martial as the hope. As if we can get him fit for the whole season, if we could get Martial playing at his best, he's probably one of the most talented players in the league. But at some point, talent itself isn't enough. In fact, talent itself isn't enough in general. So, you know, he's a player that if the kitchen gets hot, you can't depend on him. That's not me saying that he's a bottle job. It's not me saying that he's not up for it. I just think that you can't depend on him. Like I said, like when the going gets tough, you need all your big players. And again, another injury. We don't know how long it's going to be out for this time, but you know, I think availability is a big part of you know, a player's worth, a player's value. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you're never available, and when you are available, you're not really playing at the level needed, you're showing little glimpses, then how valuable are you? And for me, that is what Martial is right now. I think they were 2-0 down. It was looking a bit crazy. He's gone off injured again. It's what you expect. It's just, okay, he's injured. How long, like I said, is he out for now? What are they going to do next season? I think it's no secret that they need a striker, 100%. But I'll be very surprised if Martial is there next season. Not because I think he's had enough chances to show what he could really do. I think he's actually over it himself. I think United have probably been over it as well. And I'll be, like I said, I'd be very surprised if he's there. Like, he just didn't really look bothered. Rashford came on, tried. I just think Sevilla were just a different animal. And I don't know what it is about the Europa League, but it's just their cup. It's just their tournament, and they just know how to navigate around that cup. Like, they're struggling in their division. They're struggling in Spain. It's been a struggle for them all season. They struggled in the first leg, but second leg, in front of their home crowd, they just managed to just turn it on. So, yeah, it's you know, they've got Juventus in the next round, and you'd be very bold to bet against Sevilla. Obviously, Juventus are Juventus, but Sevilla, I believe, will be able to get through that, and you can hold me to that 100%. But that's just what I think. So yeah, that's that in regards to United. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about what I'm saying about Martial. Am I being a bit too harsh on Martial? To be honest, what I will say though, and you know I like to be balanced, as much as we call Anthony a flop, he's been trying, and you can actually see that there's something there. If they can tap into, don't get me wrong, I still think he's had a poor season, 100%. But I'm also a man that likes to give the opportunity for a player to settle in without just calling him a flop, flop, flop. So I think there's enough there, and I could see that he was trying, and if they can tap into the good that I have seen from him, I think he'll be just fine next season. But it all depends on if they can tap into that, because there's also a lot of nonsense that comes with Anthony. So old Manchester United showing themselves is what I've got in the notes in regards to, like, there's that thing about Man United where you never knew which Manchester United would show up. That version of United, like I said earlier on, like, we know that they have that in them. We know that if United, if you stick it on United in certain games, that's what you're going to get. And I think earlier on in the season, people talk about the mentality shift, but I think it's all good when the confidence is there to talk about people's mentalities. But like I said, when the going gets tough, what is the mentality really like? And I saw the old Man United of Ole today, and that mentality that people were talking about, it just wasn't there. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking about the situation. So yeah, that's it. On to Manchester City. Manchester City, Champions League. I think it's theirs. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think it's theirs. I don't think, as much as Real Madrid, also similar to Sevilla and Europa League, Real Madrid just have it in this tournament. Champions League is their tournament. Against Chelsea, I said the other day that they didn't really come out of second gear. They just know how to window. But I do think Man City pose a different threat. I think across the park, Man City are just, you can see that Man City are locked in. They're locked in and they're ready to fight right now. And they're just breezing through opposition right now. I think against Bayern Munich, it wasn't really a competitive game, to be honest. Bayern Munich had a couple moments. Koeman was lively throughout the game, but you never ever really felt like, especially once the first half finished, like Bayern Munich were actually going to come back and win it. I think if they had got a goal in the first 15 minutes or so, 100%, maybe something would have been on, but you didn't really get it from them. So it's interesting because I think Bayern are just, it's easy to say now that they've been knocked out, but I don't know. I feel like they're just losing their appeal. I don't know if Upamecano. Oh my gosh! Listen, Bayern Munich will look back at that though, and home and away legs say that Upamecano has a massive part in them losing, because even the fact that it's 0-0, you still got a bit of hope to try and get back, and Upamecano does that. Like there's nothing you can put in place for something like that. There's nothing you can prepare and whatever, but a guy having an absolute mare like Upamecano did, there's nothing you can do about it. And yeah, I think his arse has been shown a bit in these last games, the last two games against Man City, and yeah, I don't know. Obviously, I don't watch Bayern Munich week in, week out. I'm not going to act like I do. So they've obviously seen something in him where he's actually a good player. And I've seen stuff in him. But again, when it really matters in these high intensity, high value, high worth games, that isn't good enough. What we've seen from it, it's not good enough. So yeah. I don't know. Do Bayern go and get a different player next season? His stock has plummeted, and it's crazy because he could have had an absolute great season, but because of these two games on the biggest stage, his stock has just gone all the way down. So if those of you that watch him regularly, like, what's he really like? Because I remember him from Leipzig, and I thought, yeah, this guy's got potential. He's got enough about him. I didn't think he was a finished product yet, but that's okay because he was young. But now looking at him, has he really pushed on? So yeah, we'll see. So Man City should really and truly win that Champions League tie. I think if whoever wins out of Real Madrid and Man City, I said this the other day, wins the Champions League. Haaland is on 48 goals. Let that sink in. Haaland is on 48 goals. I think it's absolutely crazy that people were talking earlier on in the season saying they're a better team when he's not playing. Someone that scores 48 goals in the season, you're a better team when they're not playing. Wild. But it just goes to show you shouldn't really take on everyone's. Not everyone needs to have an opinion. But I mean, everyone's got an opinion, but some we should really take with a pinch of salt. So yeah, it's incredible how many goals he's got. I think obviously if they win the Premier League, he gets Player of the Season. If they don't, then I think Saka will get it. But yeah, that's that. I'm flying through these topics. So also interesting enough, what I wanted to touch on is that Mason Mount is coming off Twitter, and let me read the tweet that he put out. Let me see the tweet. So I'm just trying to put it up for you guys. Oh, where is it? Has it been deleted already? So guys, just trying to find it for you quickly. Okay, let me find it. The page I thought that had it, I don't know if they've deleted it or what. But let's see. Yeah, so it says, over the years, I've thoroughly enjoyed connecting with you on Twitter. Sadly, the platform is changing, so I've decided to delete my account. You can all still connect with me further on social media platforms here. Cool. I think what he's saying is, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Twitter has become a place where it's almost cool for people to just be negative. You know, it used to be really good that people could interact with each other and talk to, their fans and whatnot. But I think when you look at some of the criticism he gets, it's not just about the criticism, it's the level and how deep it gets. Twitter has become this place where people just say what they like. And I think you're going to see more and more players coming away from Twitter. Even me, I'm not going to lie to you, and I'm not even anyone big, but sometimes I look at it and I'm like, what's the point? What is actually the point? Like, you get so much negativity, like I'm happy being in my little bubble and here on YouTube, and for the most part my interactions are cool, but even just some of the stuff that you see, like, under no circumstances should you be like atting a player and giving them horrid abuse. Like why? Like, it's why do you get kicks from that? So I genuinely, I hear what you're saying. Obviously, it doesn't help that he's probably not going through a good time in regards to football on the pitch. But I think you're going to see more players just come off it, to be totally honest with you. It's changed. So if they can change certain things in regards to make people nicer, make people, be a bit more respectful, then maybe. But I can just see things changing. But yeah, guys, that's it from me. Longer podcast coming. Let me know what you guys think of the MLS. Let me know what you think of the United match. This is just a quick video from me, and I'm out.